So water's still
So,
wet.
Wait, that's the
so
wrong one.
we'll just cover with our headliner story, actually, to be fair, straight away. I
all
mean, so Stephen Yen, so this is the interesting thing. So Stephen Yen has passed up the role of Asian Sentry. He passed up that role, and apparently, subsequently, 2 other actors have passed up the role. That's 3 people passing up the role of Sentry, just deciding to leave it. Like, well, one person decided to leave it when they'd actually had costume fittings, which is a remarkable thing. You already have a costume fitting, that's pretty crazy. But now another 2 actors have said to pass up on it. Which, when that happens, it goes to show just how bad the movie actually is and how bad the part actually is. Now, there's a few things to consider here when we look at it, because it's not just the fact that 2 actors have passed, it's also what actors have passed.
Mhm.
Dev Patel was apparently offered the role.
Right,
Famous.
so you're going for Asian Sentries seems to be like the thing here.
Well, I wouldn't say Dev Patel's an Asian. You know, it's not exactly Stephen Yen Asian, is he? It's a different form of
fine.
Asian.
But he is Asian Indian subtype.
Yes, and then Austin Abrams, which actually is, you know, would have actually been an all right fit based on appearance. So there's a few things to consider. 1, 3 actors have now passed up this role. 1 who was like ready to go, like he'd done costume fitting, and then 2 people have been offered it, and they're like, nah.
You know what? I think that it may not be a coincidence that he left after the costume fitting, because maybe he was like thinking, fine, the script sucks, but at least I'll look cool. So going to be some really cool money shots and something. And then after the costume fitting, he saw the costume and he was like, I'm going to be a laughingstock. It's going to ruin my career. I can't do this. I think that there has to have been something like that if he left the role after or immediately after the costume fitting, because that tells me that he was like, oh, hell no, after having tried it on.
Did he say why? Because here's the thing. Usually by then you're already contracted. I wonder if the first guy had more to do with they moved the movie and it didn't fit with his schedule. Because otherwise, how do you get out of the contract? The Thunderbolts has moved like 3 times. I thought.
No, as in like lately. Sorry. So Thunderbolts is July 2025.
Well, I was going to say, I know Captain I think moved more, but this is a movie that at least moved once. I know. Because that's what I'm saying.
A while ago.
I'm not trying to give Marvel excuses here on this one, but I mean, you get that far into a gig, that to me sounds like
but the thing is, there is nothing that Stephen Yen has. He's got nothing coming up on his list, and loads of people point to, well, you know, he's in Invincible. Voice work doesn't take that long at all, like at all. I just think a lot of people are the writings on the wall. They know the writings are on the wall with Marvel. Basically, that's what I think. You know, you've also got a bunch of people passing up the roles in Fantastic Four. You know, Adam Driver apparently passed up the role numerous times because the script was terrible. They kept changing it, kept going back. He was like, no. Apparently he passed it like 3 times. But then again, like...
And several others. I mean, from what we understand, Pedro Pascal, who appears to be the one who gets the role in the final ending here, he wasn't the first, second, or even third choice, apparently. I think he was like the 4th person on the list or something.
Yeah.
He was
the only person they could get. Awful. Absolutely awful.
But is it surprising? I mean, honestly, this honestly feels like actors are wising up to the fact that this isn't going to improve their career, and Disney overall is a sinking brand, and the brands that they control are sinking brands. That's how I'm looking at this. I don't know about the rest of you.
Actually, the reason he might have quit is he's in that Mickey 17 movie that's coming out this year, because this movie was originally slated to be out in December.
Been delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, that one got crushed.
The release date's been delayed indefinitely now. Just taken off completely.
It says it's in post-production.
Yeah, but it's been taken off the release schedule. It has no release date now. They moved things around and they put another movie in its place.
Well, it's done. So it's not like it's not. My point is, though, is he probably shot that at the same time he would have originally shot the Thunderbolts, which was supposed to be out in December of this year.
But
now they moved it to July of next year.
But why would you leave the role? You got nothing else to do. Like, he's got no other roles coming up.
You're not listening to me. He probably was. He shot Mickey 17 at the time he was originally supposed to shoot the Marvels. Probably is my point, because Mickey 17 is done. The Thunderbolts was supposed to be done already and in post-production and getting ready for December of this year. Like, they should just be finishing up shooting right now. So his schedule probably overlapped, is my point. And he probably said, I can't do it now because you guys moved the movie. I'm not saying he didn't, unless you can find something where he says I left for other reasons. I'm just saying, because contractually, you can't just walk away like that. That's not how it works.
Once you're signed up. I understand. But what's the obligation that overlaps?
He already was signed up to Mickey 17, probably. Those dates probably overlapped with the changed dates that they had for the Marvels. So he probably couldn't shoot it, is my point.
Mickey 17's finished. Maybe I'm being a bit dumb because I'm a bit tired, but Mickey 17's finished. Thunderbolts hasn't even. It's not the Marvels. It's Thunderbolts.
But initially,
Thunderbolts hasn't even shot.
Yes, but originally, when he signed up for this role, the movie was supposed to be coming out December of this year. Okay, we know Marvel takes like 6-7 months longer than everybody else to make a movie. It seems like. Okay. So initially, when he was originally signed up, the shooting schedule, he probably would have been done with it before Mickey 17 started shooting. But when they moved the Thunderbolts, I think that overlapped now, and that's why he couldn't do it, is my point. I'm not saying he didn't have another reason, but
no, I can understand that. They haven't shot the Thunderbolts yet. They're not shooting it yet. And he only left recently. So that's what I mean. I don't understand where the overlap actually is, if that makes sense. If Mickey 17's finished, they're getting ready to shoot the Thunderbolts because they haven't shot it yet. They're getting ready to. He's free right now. That's what I'm like.
I think that's like the point. He didn't drop out like 6 months ago or 8.
He dropped out like 2 weeks ago.
He dropped out less than a month ago.
Yeah, this month.
It's like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Do we know that for sure, or did he drop out a long time ago and we're just hearing about it now?
We learned of it 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying here, is I want, because we got to remember how these schedules go. That's what I'm trying to say.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Remember, like, for instance, whenever we get an announcement that actor so-and-so has been cast for an in-development movie, well, chances are they were cast 8 to 9 months ago. They have already filmed their parts. They have done their voiceovers. Now is when marketing decides to announce this news. Whenever you get an announcement, doesn't mean that it just happened.
So they didn't actually want to announce this. This leaked on DCU Leaks.
Exactly, which only goes to show that it may not be that fresh either, because who knows how fresh the information was at that time. Because that's the kind of thing that they would never put out there. They would never put out like a negative announcement. They would just announce the next guy and don't say anything else about it. But if it were to leak, but then we don't know how fresh the leak be. Then, like, you guys can both be right. We learned about it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it could actually have happened in conjunction with the release date being pushed back. Because that is true. Like, for instance, he would be contractually locked in, but the moment they shift the release date, that throws contracts into a flurry.
Well, that to me just sounds like that the shift of the movie gave him a way to get out of the movie. He doesn't actually have
it could have been. And I didn't even want to get into it for that long. My point was that because it doesn't even really matter, because at the end of the day, you're right. These other two people are already turning it down. So what does that tell you?
Well, yeah, it tells you it's bloody garbage, like major trash. And this is what I mean, like that sort of sheen of Marvel has gone now. I think we've had loads of directors have come out, writers have come out. There's been loads of actors recently. They're like, why would I want to be in a Marvel movie? No, like quite literally just straight up being like, no. Why would I want to do that? No, that's the pinnacle of an actor's career now. Wearing some tight lycra, nah, thanks, I'm good. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, probably people wouldn't have dreamt of saying stuff like that. They wouldn't have dreamt of it. But now, fair game. Yep, done. Fair game. Crazy times. But then also as well, look at who they're going for the Sentry as well. I mean, bloody Dev Patel. What the hell are you doing? The only one that looks remotely close to him is this chap, but barely.
Yeah. I don't think that's I mean, I am not familiar with this actor, but I have read Sentry in the comics, and this guy in no universe looks like the Sentry. So they're going in a very, very different direction here. But this guy, like in terms of ethnicity, I would say that he's definitely closer than the previous two names. So then they gone with 2 different brands of Asians, and now we're not someone that actually looks like Sentry. That may be problematic, but a little bit closer. But again, they're obviously going a different direction here. So what's the point? And besides, this guy also passed, which Daniel is crying about, and I have no idea why. Because again, looking at this picture, I'm like, okay, you want to do the character, or you don't want to do the character. At this point, just write him out. You can just scrap the whole movie because they're going with the wrong team anyway.
Yeah.
There are many different iterations of the Thunderbolts, and they're clearly going with the wrong one.
Bloody ridiculous.
Leave it to Disney to do the wrong thing.
Oh God, it's like just another day that ends in Y, isn't it? When it comes to this stuff. Absolute
I mean, and it's only. I think it's only been getting worse, and it's only been getting worse for a bit now. Nobody wants to be in a Marvel project. Nobody wants to be in a Disney project, right? I mean, only if you're an up and coming, like, starving actor that thinks this is going to lead to multiple movies in the future, are you even going to dip your toe in the water of Disney? Their reputation is garbage, not being helped out by everything else that they've done recently. The fact that this year, in 2023, they lost well over $1 billion, if not over $1.5 billion at the box office. It's not something to tie your wagon to.
No,
bloody hell, look at the audience perception of the brand. It's not great, is it?
No. Terrible. I name the last good Disney film or any of their brands.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Tron Legacy.
Wow,
you're going way back now.
That was one of the last good films that they made.
They've had some since then. It's just
what one?
Basically, all the Marvel movies for one up until Captain Marvel and the ones after an Endgame, basically. So you had up until about 2020, 21. They co-produced Spider-Man No Way Home. As far as the better question would be, did they have any decent original? When was the last good, decent original Disney or Pixar movie?
True. Yeah.
Coco. Yeah, you're probably right, Andre.
Yeah.
Did Nick die?
Yeah, Nick's dead.
I have no idea what is going on with Nick.
He's not said a word for over a half hour.
Never
Nick's
mind.
Dead.
Well, we need that stinger.
I know, which means you need to participate when I say Nick's dead.
Nick's dead.
Nick's dead.
You dead, Nick?
R.I.P. Nick. R.I.P. Nick in the chat. Nick's dead.
He will be missed.
The Empire got him, and somehow Palpatine returned.
Nick's dead.
There you go.
Very good.
Closing thoughts on this about Marvel just essentially being passed up by actors nowadays?
No surprise.
Do you think we'll see more? I think we will.
All things Disney right now, isn't it? I mean, they completely lost their way. They have lost the trust of the public, and with that, they have also lost all kind of reverence within the industry. When you see talent deciding that, might be a big paycheck, but it ultimately might be bad for my career.
Yeah, that is true. So, closing thoughts. Are we done with this? I think we are, aren't we? We shuffle on. Let's shuffle on. Cool.